I'm Mary J. Blige. Keep it locked to New Extreme Sound.
Welcome back to New Extreme Sounds. Of course, I'm your host, Mike Drop, and we are back again with another Top 5. This time, we are celebrating the life and the legacy of one Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So we're going to do the Top 5 little-known facts about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Here we go. Now, did you know on the night of his wedding, both him and his wife spent the night in a funeral home? That's right, a funeral home. Why, you ask? Well, back in those days, you weren't able to stay in hotels, especially if they were white-only hotels. So their only other option on their wedding night was to stay in a black-owned funeral home. Now, I don't know how that went as far as consummating the whole marriage, but that's gotta be a different experience, folks. That's what makes that number 5 on the little-known facts about Martin Luther King Jr. Number 4. Now, we all know Martin Luther King to be such a great speaker. But did you know that his first year in seminary school, he actually received a C on public speaking? That's right, a C. We're talking about one of the greatest speakers in history, and he received a C in his first year. Both him and his father were surprised, but by the end of his time there, he was the valedictorian getting straight A's in public speaking as well as any other course. Number 3. Most people don't know that Martin Luther King survived several assassination attempts. Back in 1958, while at a book signing at a department store for his new book, Stride Towards Freedom, he survived an assassination attempt from a woman trying to shove a 7-inch blade letter opener directly in his chest. The doctor said it was so close that had he sneezed, he would have killed himself. It was this type of stress that he was under that when he did die at the age of 39, the doctor said he had the heart of a 60-year-old man. That's what makes this the number 3 little-known fact about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Number 2. Now, did you know that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s name at birth was not Martin Luther King? It was actually Michael. Back in 1934, his father, then traveling to Germany, got inspired by the Protestant reformer Martin Luther. He then came back to the States, changed his name, as well as his then 5-year-old son's name to Martin Luther. That is a little-known fact that most people don't know. That's what makes it number 2 on our list of little-known facts of Martin Luther King. Number 1. Now, we all know the most famous speech that Martin Luther King gave was his I Have a Dream speech. But did you know it was revised and redone thousands of times before he got up to that podium? Matter of fact, the whole dream part was added live that second right there on that stage when he was introduced by Mahalia Jackson. You know, the famous gospel singer. She actually asked him, "Hey, tell us about the dream," referring to a speech that he had given earlier in Detroit. That just lets us know how fast and how things can change, and can change the course of history forever. That's what makes that our number 1 least known fact about Dr. Martin Luther King. This has been Mike Drop for Mike Drop's Top 5 least known facts about Dr. Martin Luther King. We all want to celebrate this man's life as well as his legacy, and I hope that everyone can try and take a little bit of his message and put it into our everyday life. You folks keep tuning in.